And in our search for music of the Midwest, we ran across Simon Nytes and his show Rock Talk on 106.7. Welcome to Business Profile.
Thank you for having me.
So we went into the studio and Speakeasy, and who else did we have in the studio that day?
Oh, man, there's been so many bands. It's just like a plethora of stuff. We've had the Verbs, another notable act. We've had Dirty Old Town, and just this upcoming week, we had Ja Roots in the studio. We normally have about anywhere from 2 to 5 bands in the studio at one given point in time.
And this is a show that airs from 10 to midnight every Sunday night that you host. And Ja Roots, we were talking about Ja Roots before, and you said that they are like really huge in the reggae world, like what, top 10, top 100, something like that?
They're top 100 in the reggae realm with selling albums as well as digital sales. And if you go to like iTunes, it's amazing. They're right here locally, right in the Ozarks, and it's a really good reggae band.
Yeah, and it's really easy if you're a local band to get on iTunes, isn't it?
Yeah, I was actually talking to the guys from Ja Roots because I didn't know the whole process of taking it to the next step, and we want to use this as an informative base for some of those local bands that if you get in the Rock Talk and then, well, I want to create an album, whatever, how do I get that album out to all the people around the world? And iTunes is a great example of that, and we talked about this step-by-step process, and it's actually really easy. If you go to iTunes, you just click through, and you can walk yourself through it.
And you don't have to buy an entire album anymore. You can download one song, and everybody's going to the internet to slap that song on their iPod or their MP3 player.
That's basically the way of the future now. People are starting to just digitally download songs, and if they're interested in hearing more from the band, that's when they actually buy the album. And a lot of bands are actually putting their albums, their whole entire catalog, online, so you can buy the whole album digitally now without actually having the physical CD.
It's a great idea. And you work with, I wanted to mention 44.com. You work with those guys in getting the bands into your studio, right?
Yes, they're a great local blogging site. They talk about everything entertainment-wise that's happening in the 417. And I thought it was a great way for them to team up with my radio station so that way we can have even a deeper reach to reach some of these artists that are out there that may not know about Rock Talk.
Now, do we see any kind of 12-band concert in the future that 106.7 and 44 are going to team up on?
I'm thinking so. Last year they had a really successful thing called 44 Fest. They had over 70 some odd bands in a 2-day aspect, and it basically covered almost all the venues downtown. I'd like to be able to expand on that because in Austin they have a South by Southwest. There's a lot of great music fests, and it's a great way and opportunity for us to showcase all the great local talent right here in the 417.
And who's been one of your favorite local bands that have come into the studio?
Most surprisingly, it seems odd, especially being a rock radio station, but we had Dirty Old Town. They're really big and popular in Branson. They come up occasionally to Springfield to play. It's a great traditional Irish Celtic band, as well as they focus on Irish rock. It's just a fun band. Basically, it's 90-0. As soon as they hit the stage, it goes on for an hour and a half, and you'll hear all your favorite traditional Irish tunes, a little bit of Celtic flair, as well as just straight up rock. And it's just, these guys are amazing.
A lot of energy on stage.
Amazing amount of energy. Actually, at the Outland Ballroom, when they had doors open, about 60 minutes later, they already ran out of Guinness, and they were moving on to other things. So it was a good time.
Awesome. Very awesome. And I want to mention, we used to work together back at Radio 2000. The company doesn't exist anymore, but I used to do mornings on 106.7. I'm so glad that you're the program director there now, and you're doing great things, and I really enjoy the station. It's a great rock station.
Well, I appreciate being here, and I appreciate you guys listening and being a part of it as well, because, I mean, focusing on local music, especially with My 31 jumping into the realm now, this is going to create more avenues for all the other bands out there to, create more awareness for, because I mean we have some great talent right here in the 417, and there's not many places for them to be able to be spotlight. We have the web, of course we have now television, we have radio. It's going to take it to a whole new level.
And okay, Rock Talk Sunday nights from 10 to midnight. When can somebody catch you on the air? You have a regular shift too.
I do afternoons from 2 o'clock until 7 o'clock in the evening on the radio station. Basically, I'm your afternoon host, and we have our big rock blocks that we do in the afternoons, which is completely commercial free for your listening pleasure.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Business Profile. I'm Liz Valentine, and this is the guy that is connected to the music of the Midwest. Thanks so much for watching.